Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our 4th Age Total War Reunited Kingdom campaign. As promised, between episodes here, I have gone ahead and stormed the settlement of from Harad and gifted it to my allies of Far Harad, along with a modest cash sum. I think it was 2,000 Mirian probably. We've got our army right outside and we're ready to move it off, probably into the south, to try to draw away Harad. Harad is doing fairly well. That's a bit of an understatement. They're doing quite well, especially in the east. Far Harad has lost a lot of territory. This settlement is actually not theirs anymore. And Far Harad is probably on their way to be eliminated fairly soon. I think they've just got these two. Rune has taken this. Harad has taken... Oh, Rune has taken this as well. Good for them. But Harad has taken pretty much everything else. And so we're helping them out a little bit, but really it's more about distracting Harad and keeping our army intact to cause more distraction while we do stuff in the east. Now, the problem that I'm running into, I have attempted to record this episode a couple of times, and I did run into a bit of a crash, sort of a freeze and a crash scenario. And what happens in a couple of turns is Harad is going to move the army out here, and they're going to besiege Umbar City. When they do that, I can't really do anything about that now. Because my men can't really reach it. I guess I could get some of my cav down, but not all. And that wouldn't be enough to deter them, most likely. Yeah, we've got like basically these 3 units who could get down there. So maybe I could try that. Let's bring these guys down, and we'll just stand them right here. I think it's probably not going to do anything, unfortunately, but we'll put them in place. I don't think we can build anything because we're right next to a city, so a fort wouldn't really work. We don't have the movement points to really do anything else, unfortunately, and so hopefully they'll attack the army rather than besiege the city. The problem with them besieging the city is that if we counterattack, which we're going to have to because we don't really have any men in here, we've got these 2 mercenaries either on spears, and so we can't really sally with this army, but actually, it occurs to me we could sally, but what I've been doing is taking a couple of turns to bring down a larger reinforcing army, as you would sensibly do. When you do that, the garrison shows up as reinforcements. You click Start Battle, and the game freezes. This is because I think the settlement is actually located sort of on a water tile that makes it awkward for the relieving army from the garrison to approach the battle. So we need to fight on a slightly different position, and the problem is Harad just sets up their army and their siege right on that spot that the game doesn't like, basically. This is something that I almost never run into, but it is something that you may want to watch out for in the region. The other thing we could do is potentially bribe the army because there's not a commanding force leading it. So I may go ahead and queue up an emissary for that purpose. We've got the funds probably to deal with it. It would be annoying, but we could maybe get that done. Otherwise, I think we're just going to have to hold off in Karas Nan and hope for the best down here, but we can try some things at any rate. Elsewhere, this is still the last turn, essentially, from the last episode, so we're still moving our men into Lithlad, we're still keeping an eye on Rune's progression into Ravanian, and pretty much in the north, we've still got a status quo. Now, the one thing that I have noticed is we've got an awful lot of men, relatively speaking, in Anuminas. These are not the most expensive troops, but they are costing some money, and there's no reason for them to be here right now. If we move them into Fornos, we can see the public order stays green, and now we're approaching a decent-ish army for the north. We may not need it for quite some time because Tharbad seems to be pretty open to trade. They're probably going to ask for trade this turn, and we can keep rejecting it and hopefully, again, buying some time before they decide to attack us. Yeah, here they go. So again, we're just going to say no thanks to trade. We want to keep their emissaries moving, not their armies, is the theory. Again, this could be totally off base. This could do nothing, but that's the goal. But Anuminas feels rather safe because we've got Turn for Vane, we've got dwarves watching us in the north, and Adunabar is kind of shunted over to the north and east. Now, Adunabar has taken the Etten Moors, and so one thing that I think I'll do with this army, actually, is move them south of Lastbridge if I can. And then that may allow these guys to slowly get over the bridge and up into this area. Maybe. We'll see. We've done some retraining. The other thing that I think we want to do is let's get our men out of Dol Amroth. We've got our Dol Amroth Knights unit here. This is the very, what would you say this is? Angamayate? Is that Elvish? Is that Numenorian or something? I'm really not too sure. But we'll get him out of the city just so I don't confuse him with somebody else. And then we'll start bringing some of these men down. We've got Blackroot Vale Bowmen coming from Mornin. And we've got, you know what we've got? We've got a lot of these Kingdom Militia units that are just eating up resources and funds. So we'll bring them over this way. We do have some bowmen here, and we can start replacing the garrisons of Kingdom Militia with these far cheaper bow units. Bowmen cost 80 in upkeep. There's 51 men per unit. Kingdom Militia cost 260. There's no reason for them to be a garrison unit unless you really, really absolutely need those extra 30 men or so. And I don't really think we do. So we'll move these guys around. And we do have some, let's see, where are they? Yes, we've got an army here, which is going to go up to Dol Amroth and retrain. And that'll be the time that we will bring the rest of the army down south to the Umbar region again. Okay, we were not besieged this turn, so this is wonderful news. I think I may want to deal with this because this is just annoying. If I take this fort, you know, what's going to happen, because again, I've played a few turns, is that this is going to rebel. Totally fine. It's going to go over to the rebels. They're probably not going to do anything at all. The same thing could happen here, or maybe we can get lucky and actually hold it. But let's see. Who has Umbar Hinterland? He does. And I think this guy... Let's take out the guys that we can take out and retrain in Umbar and see how the public order looks. Alright, 60. That's not very good. If we take out you, it's actually better. If we take out you, 75, does that get better? No, it gets much worse. He's actually providing quite a lot of public order bonus. So we've got an emissary. Let's get him out in the world just so that we can... I actually will go for another scout to help with public order, but we want to have an emissary around here to do any emergency bribing, essentially. Okay, we've got a rogue, so we'll keep him... I don't know, we'll keep him somewhere. But this army we can move back down. Not the infantry, apparently. But all those guys can get retrained. And you guys can come down at your leisure, essentially. And at this point, I think I'm just feeling better. Now, in order to encourage them even more to not besiege Umbar City, I'm just going to go ahead and put a fort there. That's not going to do very much. But I will go ahead and drop some mercenaries inside it. And we'll move the army outside of it. And therefore, we're kind of controlling Umbar. We're going to take the fort for ourselves. Maybe this episode, we'll see. Okay, now we can move these guys out of Ur. Now what I've seen happen is, I think it's this army, yeah, that will attack me. So I'm going to possibly, see, where do I want to move? I don't want them to be attacked by this army because it's big and frightening. I think we could move him like right here. Just onto Haradrian territory. I think that's slightly out of the reach of this army and this one. And again, I want these armies, these smaller armies, to be moving kind of towards me so that I can eventually turn and attack them. Oh, and I'll absolutely take some of these mercenaries. But I don't want the big one going for me just yet. Because we've got a big army here, we've got a garrison. We want to eventually start dealing with this problem. This will be the last, I think, big resistance of Harad. At least in the region. Yeah, down here they don't have much. But let's get good eyes on this settlement. Yeah, just to verify for the mini-map so we don't get confused that this is just a red tide of awfulness. But up in Nirn we can now move our forces closer to Lond Nirnen. Alright, and I think that should be good. Let's get our men down around here. Now, I think, yeah, we're actually seeing Rune has taken this, and they do not have this yet. So let's get our scout, or our emissary, rather, over here. Oh, and I found Khand. Oh, my. All right, I just found something more interesting than than what I was looking at. Okay, this is fine. This is actually not a problem. It's a little hard to tell how many men they have in their armies based on the banner color, but I don't think they have much at all. I think this is it for Khand, which is kind of sad. So they probably sacked Lond Nernan and are just hanging around without a sense of what to do now. So actually, I would love to thank them for doing that, because that really helps me out. So, Rune failed to take Lithmore Chant. And Adunabar still holds the East Bite, and Rohan is still looking very strong indeed. But okay, I think everything is pretty reasonable here. Yep, in the north I'd say we're all set, so let's just end the season. Most interested in what Harad's going to do right now. So it looks like it's nothing. We definitely positioned ourselves so we couldn't be attacked. But now I want to see exactly where their armies are disposed. Alright, anything looking different in the north? Okay, no, they're still just hanging around. Well, I don't think there's too much I can do about that. If they don't want to cross the bridge, then they're just never going to move. Alright, we've got some more Blackroot Vale bowmen, so I've got to remember to move them down towards Dol Amroth. And we're doing okay with money. You know, we got that crop rotation going in Emin Arnin. It's helping a little bit. Yeah, it looks like Adunabar's going to lose this. We've got a Haradrian army over here, too. It's kind of ridiculous. And this fell... Wait, what's this? Okay, East Mordor. This is fallen to Rune. And this is still in the hands of Adunabar. Okay. Well, let's get our siege going. Move this army kind of out of the way just in case we don't quite have the movement points for it. I think I'm just going to maintain this siege. Wonder where Khand went. So we know that Rune has this, and it seems to be just fine. No signs of peasant descent. And Rune, yeah, Rune has decent armies in the region. I'm actually happy that Rune has gone this far south, because it means Harad is not up here. Let's just check their allies. Okay, you know, in a way that's fine, because it means they're not going to be fighting each other, so one is not going to get much stronger. Usually Harad will conquer up around here and then start to run into rebellion. So actually I'm kind of excited to see a really strong Rune anyway. And where did this army come from? Okay, this is trouble. Almost exclusively infantry, lots of swords, lots of spears. This is not an army that I would like to see. And I did not know it existed. I mean, you know, I guess I assumed something of the like was around. But let's move south. We want to keep our awareness vaguely on that army. And what I think I want to do, if I can race down here and grab Adabara and give that to Far Harad too, I think I'll probably call that good. And then maybe start to move over to the west. Okay, I'm kind of shocked we still have Umbar Fortress. Still at 51% public order. Again, I think there's just... Oh, that's right. It's Followers of the Ways of Darkness. That's causing 100% of the dissent there. But there's just nothing I can do. Because... What is it set by? Oh, no. It's Ways of the West set by the faction leader. So there's nothing I can do about this, right? This is just a fort that is going to hate me. But eventually... You know, we could probably make it work if we wanted to invest in it. We have no garrison now. You know, ultimately, of course, I would like to get these forts. But it may be something we have to come back to after a little while. In the meantime, I'm happy for this just to be rebel territory, essentially. Okay. So in order to deal with the annoyance, you know, what I'm really happy about is that this army has not really moved west. So in order to deal with the annoyance of this fort, I think what we have to do is take it and give it the Umbar Fortress treatment. which is basically just get all of our men down here. All right, what can we get away with? Can we get away with that? 65. I don't want to risk it. We're just hanging on to 70 up there. Let's put one of these men-at-arms back in. Maybe that'll help just enough. Okay. And then we'll get. We won't need the fort anymore, so I can move. I can move you out of here as well. And I guess we can put this under siege. This army will possibly be able to attack me. And this is a nobleman. I kind of wasn't expecting that. Alright, you know what, let's wait. Because I think they can't go anywhere. If I can get there next season, then I can attack them and do the whole pull-out thing, draw the army out. And then we may have, we may be able to bring in some other reinforcements too. So let's give that a little bit of a pause. 2 more seasons for Fiefdom Dominion. And we're going to move our army into the north. Up here we're going to deal with a captain of ships. But Harad's fleet at this point is basically non-existent. Really not something for us to worry about. Here we come with some relatively cheap Blackroot Vale bowmen. Get a lot of Kingdom Militia that are going to go down and join the fight in Harad. You know, Kingdom Militia are actually probably a really efficient unit for fighting Harad. Simply because there are enough of them to like absorb javelins and stuff and just kind of go toe to toe. Not that they're going to hold out for very long, but they can tangle up a unit of swords. So so that feels pretty good. Now we've got to give some thought to the Nirn region. And what I'm thinking is this: the unfortunate reality is that this settlement here, Saragon, is the capital of Adunabar. That means we cannot buy it from them, right? It's never going to appear in their negotiation options. So what we have to do is we either buy these other settlements and gift them to Adunabar's enemies and hope that they take it, and then we buy it from those other factions, or we just eliminate the faction, right, and deal with the fact that we're going to lose our protectorate, most likely, which would be very sad because they are doing good work for us. They're still giving us tribute. It's keeping our economy almost afloat, and so it would really be unfortunate to lose that. But you know, we may just have to deal with it because look at this ridiculousness. They've been like investing all their money into the grand fleet of Nirn here, and so oh my gosh. So even if we take all these cities, these ships are still going to be here. You can't bribe ships. And ships like to blockade ports. So if we own all the ports, Adunabar is going to probably attack us. And that may start with London. But I think we have to risk it at this point. You know, because, you know, keeping Harondor alive for, for several thousand a turn while it's nice, I think, you know, that can't be the end game, right? We have to deal with Adunabar and get some territory that we want. And we absolutely need London anyway. So this is what we're going to do. Alright, Umbar Fortress has fallen. And it's fallen to rebels, which is just fine. Alright, but we are getting pressured here. We're seeing that army decide to move all of a sudden. I guess I should have attacked Umbar Fortress when I had the chance. But no, I can do that this turn. I think I can do that this turn. Let's check out the news. Oh, okay, we got some coming of age. Mornin. Okay, that's right, our capital's way up here. So we'll move you somewhere else. War of Pen Arduin got a loyal esquire, which is nice. Good public order. We should move him. You know, that's the thing. It would be nice to have him somewhere else where that public order would be more useful. And yeah, I mean, look at the diplomacy we're making. This is from Harondor. Almost 8,000. And if it wasn't for that, we would have been in the negative, so they're pretty important. Okay, our suitable husband, and he's an adept commander. He's mature and shadow-touched, though. Yeah. I think we'll wait. We might find somebody better. You never know. Alright, so Ruin's making a move pretty aggressively against Umbar in Rovanian. Okay, they're not moving down there yet. That's just fine. I'm seeing Harad here. Not sure what they're thinking to accomplish. Well, let's get the emissary up here to see what we've got going on. Okay, we've got Khand gathering. We've got Rune besieging Umbar. Alright, and we're going to just keep this under siege. Again, we've got some tough units inside here. I'm going to wait until those are severely weakened before assaulting, and maybe I won't assault. Maybe I'll just wait for them to sally. On the plus side, Harad has not taken back. But on the negative, we got some pretty strong units around here. I think this is that garrison army out of Akasanaban. This is the army that just came out of the east. And they're going to be faster than me. So I think at this point what I may want to do, see if I can lose any dead weight, because I'd like to pick up these mercenaries actually, but I don't think I can consolidate any of these troops. Oh no, we can do this, and then I can grab those mercs. But let's maybe go down here and take out Ibarra first. They can't reach us just yet. Oh shoot, so frustrating. So we could take Attabara, but then we would be, if they choose to follow us. Well, alright, well we got to get the mercenaries now then. Give the pool time to refresh. So we won't be taking Attabara then, because they're probably going to follow us. They're going to come down here. And what we're going to want to do is actually turn and attack them, so we can make the most use of our catapults. But we do have bigger problems here. So what I'm going to do is step right here, and I think I can attack that army. Let's go for some mercs. And let's see how weird this battlefield is going to look. Because we're attacking across water. This is exactly the thing that I was mentioning at the beginning of the video with Umbar City. I'm a little worried that we're on this kind of weird shaped tile. But inside the city, this is what I'm interested in. Okay, 26 men. Alright, not too much that's scary, but I'm going to make a save here. Because I'm not quite sure exactly what's going to go on, but we're going to take a look. Alright, kind of relieved here because we're not seeing the crash issue. They're well enough away from the water, so that's not a problem. This is the army that I'm more worried about in a way, because they've got this family member with the Serpent Black. That said, we can definitely deal with them with all this cav. Just this Lancer cav alone, and in fact, I want to lean really heavily on these Harandor mercenaries, because they are retrainable right at Umbar. These guys are also pretty good to use. I'll use them in the fight against the army up there. Now the other thing is, we kind of have to win this fight, because we have to beat both armies. We have to do the attacking the city type thing. If we fail to do that, then we'll be sort of stuck here. We'll be stuck away from Umbar, and we'll have a very big army of Harad right on our doorstep, putting us under siege there that we may not be able to deal with the forces that we have currently. So that would all be very interesting stuff. Now, I think what we got to do is move these guys up. Let's keep the army together. In fact, let's ignore those footmen of Harad. You know, almost to a ridiculous extent. We'll kind of run away from them. Our army's on that very nice, very annoying hill. I'm worried they're going to start charging. That's going to kind of force me to turn and attack them. I guess I don't really have to or anything, but... Okay, up here, the swords are probably the biggest issue. Cavalry is not too much of a threat, really. They do have some archers, so we've got to remember that. Where are they? Oh, no, they don't. They're with the other army. Okay, good. Let's take these guys off skirmish before I forget. And I don't like how they're spread out. Alright, we're gonna spread our army around. Swords of Harad. Let's hit them. Let's go here. Hopefully we can take out the enemy family member. Actually, you know what? Let's bring 2 back this way. We routed them. Let's run up and away from the footmen. Swords of Harad, Plainsman Skirmishers. No, we'll bring you down here. Okay, did I not charge them? Oh my gosh. Alright, we should take out the captain there pretty easily, I would think. We're stuck in with footmen. Alright, they're losing heavily and wavering. Hopefully that'll work out. These guys, we have to not only kill both captains, especially this family member, which I think is actually going to be fine. We're gonna sandwich him. All right, let's get out of there. But we have to go back and take out all of those guys. Now, fortunately, they're far enough away from the main, their point of entry into the battlefield that I think we'll be able to deal with them. Let's go deal with those skirmishers. The Serpent Black are losing. You know, and on one hand, it's kind of okay that it's taking us this long, simply because it's giving these guys more time to approach. But on the other hand, of course, you know, you want to get this to a conclusion without losing all your mercenaries. Okay, there's the general. Swords of Harad. All right, let's go down there, and we'll move these guys down here. I think we should be good. 13 footmen of Harad. I don't think that's going to prevent us from taking the city. These swords, though, are absolutely... Okay, finally they're gone. Okay, these guys are winded. What we need is a really strong kind of knockout charge. We might be able to get that with our bodyguards. Let's get down here and hit these footmen. Good, we get those guys routing. I think this could be a good charge, too. Got him from a couple of sides, wavering and gone. And now we got to just take out the archers. Dol Amroth men-at-arms are getting it done. That's it for the army. Everyone is en route or fighting to the death. These mercenaries took an absolute beating, but I think it was necessary. We needed to do a lot of work with cavalry in this. Very nice. Oh, great. And not only can we get here, but we can get back to Umbar. That's even better. So let's do this first. Lay desolate. We took out, what, 300 men? And as usual, we're stuck at 51% public order. We'll get rid of the tribal gathering because it's doing us no good at all. And yeah, let's take our army entirely out of here, right back to Umbar City. And we're going to retrain all of these mercenaries yet again. Now, they could... Oh, geez, they could go right back and take this now. Alright, it may be time for another fort. Let's do that. So now they can't get to Harumbar Fortress. Put the general back in, but we'll take... let's see, these forces are not super strong. I'll bring you guys down just because you're... there's only 3 of you. You'd be good on fort duty at some point. Let's see, 80 and 80. So we'll combine that. We got 6 men here. There we go. Alright, could be better. We're retraining, you know, 3 cav. And I do miss that 4th unit because we lost them in that battle. Not in the battle itself, but in the auto-merge. Always very sad to see. Alright, we got rid of that ship, but they're training more ships. But here we go. We've got our army up to Dol Amroth. Whoops, do not do that. Oh, come on. Alright, next turn they're going to do it. We're going to retrain them, and we're going to get more men over here. We needed to get the Blackroot Vale Bowman down anyway. It was going to take a couple of turns. So let's keep going with training. I guess, yeah, another Mariner would not go amiss. We're spending all of our money on this, but, you know, what else are we going to do, right? Let's get some of those Kingdom Militia. And what we're doing here, again, is just training all those bowmen in Pelargir so that we can replace the garrisons of places like Lynn here and these forts. Alright, everything else looking pretty status quo. Nothing else happening there. Alright, this is the same turn. I've got to remember that. I haven't actually clicked end turn yet, so I guess we can do that at this point. We'll see what Harad's going to do down south. Alright, they've put our fort under siege. Good. The little temporary camp. Yeah, nothing else of note, it looks. And, you know, around Lastbridge, it's frustrating to see this. These guys are going to die at some point. In fact, this is the heir. We don't know how old he is or how, you know, what his age trait exactly is. But he's looking up there. This is just some other noble. Maybe at some point we could try bribing that other guy and the heir may just die off. At that point, I don't think we'll see these guys around, but very good news from Umbar. We've got Fiefdom Dominion. And so now we can start building all of this wonderful stuff. I think then we have to go for control posts. I mean, ultimately, just to remind you what we have in store, we've got a Footman of Harad levies, Plainsman Skirmisher levies at Tier 2, as well as Kingdom Militia at the hosting halls. We're going to get our King Swordsmen and Bowmen of Gondor. This is our first archers, Tier 3, but at Tier 4, Guards of the Haven. It's like longbows with spears. Just a great unit, really good range, really solid armor, even better defense than the King's Longbowmen, and they have a spear, so that's just awesome. And I don't think I've ever trained them in a campaign, so it'll be great to see them. It'll take a long time, but we've got it. This army is actually aimed at Karis Nan, which I was not expecting, honestly, but I think is okay. So what we can do is attack out of Umbar, take out this army, and then we'll move these guys back into Umbar to retrain them and move the Gondorian swordsmen into the camp, since we can't retrain them around here. And they'll just hold the camp. I don't know why the AI went after the camp rather than, you know, any other place, but hey. Okay, so we want to get these guys off the boat somewhere, so let's just do that. It's a little weird. There we go. And we're going to do a nice, big, expensive retrain of all of these men. And then we can train, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a nice even 4, but we've got 5, so let's go for a 6th Mariner unit. And here are our Dol Amroth, or our Blackroot Vale Bowmen, rather. We'll bring these guys down too, and, you know, I'm thinking we've got someone who has come of age, it looks like, here. He's not really good for much, so maybe we'll just move him out with these 2 other units. And I don't know that I feel a need to move them down south immediately. We'll head them over here, and maybe we'll be sending them east to do some work over around Mordor. Right, we've got another bowman coming, so I'll move this guy down to the fort. And yeah, let's train one up for the other fort over here, both of which are manned by the Kingdom Militia, which we don't really need doing that kind of work. Alright, we actually destroyed that fleet. Let's see if we can do the same thing here. No, he's got too many men, but we can at least drive him away. And this is an Alcarandas. That should do a lot of damage. And it actually sinks it. Awesome. Alright, so we're going to be moving those guys down very, very soon. Alright. Lond Nernan. We're just maintaining at this point. 6 more seasons. That's fine. So let's do some action around Umbar. Let's take these guys out, and we may as well take all of them. But I think not the mercenary Gondorian swords. Alright, they just went away, and they went away in the most annoying way possible. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I can't get over there. I guess we're going to have to attack them, right? We're going to have to follow up. On the other hand, though, we can't really follow up because we've got a very unhappy Umbar city, so we're going to need to move some troops around. They could just turn and take Harumbar Fortress. Jeez. Well, if we win the battle, then we can just walk back to Umbar City. So, all they've got is some cav, a unit of skirmishers, and a unit of swords. And we've got all of our cavalry, you know, some decent units. The other thing we got to do is move that army that was approaching, I think it's Atabara. Actually, I think that's not it. I think it's another settlement name. But the settlement of Farharad West. Alright, well, let's just go with this. We've got spears and cav. Not really too much subtlety here. So, we've got 3 of these mercenary Southron spears. You know, I guess they're going to be a good unit to deal with the javelins and stuff that we're going to face. Similarly, these Lancer Cav, I'm going to want to use them as well as the bodyguards. Kind of the usual thing. The really good Dol Amroth Men-at-Arms are kind of too good to use down here because you know you can't retrain them easily, so... Alright, we'll see if the Herodwaith Riders are going to stick around and let my spears charge into them. And actually, let's get these guys all headed over here. Alright, they did get caught. Alright, they're going to be gone soon. I think our generals can charge the swords. And then the men-at-arms can hit the skirmishers, and that's the end of them.
This is no way for a leader to behave, but in battle, it's beyond belief.
Alright, so with that, we have saved Harumbar Fortress. The fortress that we are just going to lose anyway in a few turns, because we can't possibly hold it. But what we want to do is something, basically the same thing that happened to pin Umbar Fortress just north across the bay, which is let the rebels take it. I'm pretty sure that the rebels are not going to be attacking us at Umbar, and Harad is never going to take that place back. So we're going to have time to, you know, build up some stuff around here, maybe get the public order going, and now we can move all these guys back, and yeah, retrain them again. And, you know, I'm thinking it doesn't hurt to have something down here. Al Carindesses are really cheap. You may as well go for that. And then we can have a ship that we may use to get over to An Umbar or something. Because this, of course, would be nice to get as well. We can be attacked from there. It's just for whatever reason the AI of Harad seems really slow to use this as a training center. The population's probably fairly low or something. I'm not quite sure. All right, but yeah, this is the army we've got to make some decisions about. So there's no more mercenaries in the area, sadly. We could attempt to move west. This army, though, could catch us, probably. Let's move a spy over and see if there's any other armies threatening. And you know there are not, so let's do that. Let's just head over here. We'll see if they pursue. If that army can reach us, I'll be disappointed. I think they probably will be able to. But they shouldn't. It looks like their movement points end. Oh. Oh, okay, yeah, this is this army. For a second, I thought I was being assaulted immediately at Karas Nan. But no, that's going to take a little while. No, we are attacked. See, they're doing this kind of BS AI thing where they can use up all of their movement points and then be crouched and yet still somehow attack you, even though you cannot do the same thing. Well, it makes up for the fact that the AI is dumb. So I guess, I guess that works. All right, so we got a big battle coming, one that I was not really looking forward to or expecting or hoping for. I was hoping to do damage to cities, but this is, this is what we've got to do. Now, good news is if we win this, we can be in a pretty decent position because we'll have a lot of men and we'll have a little more freedom to maybe take some time and go after a city or two in the area. Again, I don't expect I'll be able to hold any of these just yet, certainly not with this army. But it would be nice to think that we could come out of this alive. But if not, this is an army that we had been doing nothing with anyway. So by them existing, being in Harad's territory, pulling their armies in different directions, that is at least causing them some trouble. It's meaning that they're not going to be as effective at expanding in the east or attacking Far Harad because they're using their armies to fight me. So that's a good thing, I guess. So these skirmishers, let's see. We're going to be attacked. We do not have good ground. I guess back there might be the best place to set up. I don't believe there are any reinforcements in this fight. So we'll have time to adjust our battle line as we see fit. We're probably going to want the archers up front. And actually, yeah, it's like an infantry-heavy army, so we can definitely have the archers up front. Let's get the bowmen up a little closer, and these guys. And the skirmishers, yeah, let's move them over here, I think. Now, this army does not have any archers. It does have cav, and it's got a really strong mix of spears and swords. So this is an army that is difficult to deal with, very prickly kind of army. Them not having archers is kind of a good thing, but it also means we're going to have to fight all of these guys in melee. With some pauses while the swordsmen hurl javelins at us. So that's going to be difficult. The nice thing is that these are not family members, and so the morale of this entire army is going to be lower than it would otherwise. And we're getting some... oh, very nice shot there. Swords of Harad unit. It may have been cut in half. This may have been a full unit. Down to 45 men now. So we'll hope that continues to do damage. We'll give them another shot or two of that, and then... yeah, they're overshooting a little. We'll change targets then. Since you guys are marching in a nice big blob, we'll aim for the general and hope we get lucky. Alright, so the Swerdings, I'm actually thinking maybe we want to move back a little. Let our archers do some damage here. And then the Swerdings, the thing with them is they're a fear unit. So you want to bring them in once the enemy general's dead for that extra shock. And I don't want them to just get javelined to death. But we're doing some good work here. Looks like the swords are taking the front line, which makes sense. The spearmen are hanging back, and the cavalry bodyguard is doing the sensible thing and not throwing itself into the front line. But it's going to quickly get to the point where these catapults are no longer useful, which is very sad. So let's run these guys back. Let's run these guys back. All right, we're gonna have you halt. And yeah, the Horsemen of the Hardened. I thought they were going to charge right after the archers, but they did the smart thing. All right, so let's Let's do a kind of a counter charge here. Now we do have our Lasarnic Axemen, and this battle they may actually be pretty useful. Alright, let's do a charge on these spearmen who are kind of out in the middle. And they're not formed up, and they may get jumped. They may get scared. Nah, they're winning easily. That was a bad move. Alright, the catapults seem to still be firing, which is not what I want them to do. Alright, let's bring the Lasarnic Axemen over. Alright, Swords of Harad. That's a decent target. But look at our center. It's just melting away. But so are those swords. Let's pull back. And what do we do with the longbowmen? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do with the catapults. We're going to get them off catapult duty, and we'll throw them into the fray. Hit these swords. They routed easily enough last time. And let's bring the longbows over. We've got Lasarnic Axemen who are losing slightly, which is very sad to see, but I think we're going to win over here. They got a lot of them, and I think they're going to be okay ultimately. We're doing some good damage in the center. It looks like the AI is starting to get the impression that they're going to rout. What do we have? Some spearmen still? That's going to stick us up. Alright. I think we got to pull back, though, which is very sad. Let's get those Kingdom Militia back. Yeah, they're coming to the same conclusion, pulling their cavalry out of there. Alright, I did not tell you to charge again. Alright, what are you doing? You're heading over here. Let's hit you. If we can take out the general, that would be a game changer. With one on the left. Let's try to win the center. There he goes. His unit is sticking around, though, unfortunately. Wavering. Spearmen of the Serpent are wavering. Alright, there he goes. Let's go and hit these spearmen. Lasarnic Axemen can turn and deal with those spearmen, and everyone else is on the run. Just about. I feel really bad about these mercenary swordings. I had to use them as infantry or melee guys. Maybe I didn't have to, but that's what it seemed like. Alright, let's throw in the bowmen as well. May as well get them into the fray. They're not too bad at it, and I think the pressure is going to make these guys rout. Everyone else is gone. They're wavering. Oh, they still got swordsmen over here. That's giving them a bit of confidence. Okay, I think all of this is fine, so let's bring the cavalry back. This is definitely going to do it. Just want to get them back here before we lose too many of our bowmen and other units. Yeah, the swordings are gone. That's such a shame. But I don't think we'll be back in this region for a little while. We're going to definitely head back west toward friendlier territory. All right, this should be it. Take out a few ranks of swordsmen. There they go. Yeah, see, it's funny. Harad can build these very diverse armies, and those can be very tricky to deal with, but they can also build these armies that are just basically, you know, swords and spears, and those can also be very difficult to deal with. Alright, well, I guess we'll clean this up, and I'll see you on the campaign map. Alright, so that was a heroic victory. And we lost over half of the men in that army. Alright, Dunabar still wants trade, but I'm still not interested. Let's see what we can possibly do down south to I don't know, to make up for that. I mean, I guess we could go for Adabara. We could try to hit the army here to get the settlement. Might be the thing to do. I mean, you know, what else are we going to do, right? This army could turn back, but it's not looking too threatening, honestly. No cavalry. don't know what that is, but I'm more interested in seeing what's coming. All right, and there's some stuff. The thing that's really misleading about fighting Harad is you can see, okay, that doesn't look like much, that doesn't look like much, but you put all these armies together and you've got like, a dozen sword units, and it's just crazy. So, yeah, Rune has attacked Far Harad, which means Far Harad's going to be dead soon. They are under siege there. That's their one settlement remaining, I've got to say. Apart from which is also under siege. Poor guys. Well, I don't think there's much I can do to keep them alive. Even if I take this and give it to them, they're not necessarily going to generate a family member based on that. Now, they might hold on to one or both of those other settlements. And if they do, then having a third settlement would help encourage them to, adopt another family member or so. But I don't know. I'm wondering if these armies would just be better put to use over in the west, where we're running into some trouble, some real resistance around Karas Nan. Now, fortunately, we had not invested much in this place. We've got some units that would be unfortunate to lose. But we did the most work to keep Umbar City up and running, and we got the fiefdom dominion there. So that's all looking very nice. In the city itself, well, let's get a closer look at this army. Yeah, 3 swords, that's it. So I think what we need to do, let's take out, oh, this guy's a really good spy. Let's take out everybody we can and get them up towards Karas Nan quickly. And then we will attack, because they've got 4 cav. They've got a mix of archers, spears, swords. I think we could handle that. Let's see what we can possibly leave behind in Umbar. That's everything. We can take out everything but this one unit of mercenary Southron spears. And so we could then get up here, not this turn, but the next. Let's get right there on the hill, and we'll do it. Now, this looks really bad, but we do have reinforcements coming. We're just moving these guys down to around Lynn here, say. Seems like a pretty reasonable spot to be. And I think I'll move you over as well, rather than get you with this army. So we'll get you on the boat. And how many men do we have here? We can have 8 more units. 6, okay. Let's take you, and you know what? I think there's a couple of swords available for training, for mercenary use, so let's get them. And we got a full stack. Now, it's very melee heavy. There's not a lot of cav. There are 2 cavalry units. There are, let's see, 2 of these archers. We've got 2 of the other archers, and the rest is, swords and kingdom militia. But I think that's kind of good. It'll be good to have a more conventional infantry kind of army. And I think with this, we're going to just go straight for Habad. I don't know if we're going to be able to get down in time to reinforce Karas Nan. Let's clear out some of these ships just so we can... oh, okay. We're gonna get a defeat on that. But we'll get rid of these guys just so we can make ourselves a bit more room. And yeah, we might be able to get this army down. Let's see. We could put it here, and that'd take 2 seasons. So let's get it like... It's not letting me do it. Let's go right there for now. And you're not going to attack this season, but next season I may attack you, or we'll get the reinforcements if they don't look like they're too quick to build towers and stuff. And yeah, let's keep moving in this direction. We might get some more mercenaries. We might get this guy to attack us. Yeah, let's see what happens. Alright, we lost Umbar Fortress, but again, that's just fine. We're not losing any extra trade because we weren't trading with Harad anyway. I guess we're losing a little bit of income as opposed to when we had it, but, you know, having rebels there is better than Harad in my opinion. Oh, and we're besieged at Umbar. Okay. Well, this, you know, this is not, that's not a threat I'm really concerned with. So we've got armies besieging we've got all these armies coming west. We've got some work ahead of us. But I don't see the army that I saw in the area. I think he might have moved over to the east. So this is pretty open. We could go for Athendad. I don't know if I would hold this. I don't know if what the public order would look like. But it might be something that I would consider holding. All right, we'll get rid of you and
Ready to sail. Prepare to engage. Victory! Ready to sail. Prepare for battle. Victory! Fleet ready. Prepare for battle. Victory! Ready to sail.
all right, and here is our fleet. Yeah, it's going to take us a couple of turns to get exactly where we want to be, but I think that'll be fine. Now, the choice with this army would be to turn back and save Umbar, or to go straight ahead and save Karas Nan. Karas Nan seems like it's more in need of saving, and I think, geez, this army just might be able to do it. We're going to get reinforcements. We should be able to control those reinforcements. And we might be able to make something happen. So I think I'm going to queue this up for the next episode. When we come back, we are going to be attempting to lift the siege of Karas Nan. We've got reinforcements coming. We should be able to hopefully win this and then head down here, even if we lose, in time to save Umbar from being lost and then deal with the other armies that are around. We've got a full stack from Dol Amroth, plenty of infantry, a bunch of archers, some decent units. We should be able to do a lot of damage with that, and we've got more reinforcements up here if we need them quickly. So I hope you've enjoyed the episode so far, and I hope you'll stick around for the next one, when hopefully we will really make some more progress in the region and then take the settlement of Londondernen, which we have finally managed to put under siege. Until the next one, take care.